Hey there, it's a Dad Who Games, and welcome to part 2 of my Silent Hill and the Sims 4 build series. Last time, we took a look at Alchemilla Hospital and its otherworldly counterpart. Today, it's all about Brookhaven Hospital from Silent Hills 1 and 3, which, to be clear, both of these hospitals are on the same 64x64 lot. That's right. 2 hospitals and their demonic counterparts for the price of 1. You can download them and take a closer look by searching for EAID Dad Who Games in the Sims 4 gallery. Being a full-time teacher, I don't always have a lot of extra time to make videos. But through subscriptions, I might one day be able to make more and better videos for you more often. So if you enjoy this video, in addition to liking it, you might decide to subscribe. Alrighty, self-serving jibber-jabber out of the way, let's take a look at Brookhaven Hospital. In the last video, I went all RP explaining the fictitious histories of these hospitals, but honestly, it felt quite cringe. Let me know in the comments if you prefer RP story times or 90s pop culture to millennial dad humored commentary. Okay. I have to say that my having gotten the Seasons DLC specifically to cover this build in snow was so well worth it. The overall tone to the Silent Hill games is foggy and white, and in the movie adaptations, the town is covered in ash as it constantly flurried down like snow from the continual burning coal mines. So, putting in the snow really brought out the genuine Silent Hill vibe. Which, of the 2 games that featured Brookhaven, the first version that comes to mind is the one from Silent Hill 3. Aside from having repressed my terror-stricken experiences playing the first Silent Hill, tucking them well away in the filing cabinets of my mind, the main reason why I think of the third installment is because of my wife. See, when we first started living together, we didn't have anything aside from a bed, a computer without internet, a TV with no cable or antenna, a bookcase, and 2 video game chairs that were rounded at the bottom to enable rocking. We leaned back against the wall so much in them that when the humid months hit, the chairs would stick to the wall and peel off the paint. Anyway, when we weren't reading books or playing crossword puzzles together, we were playing video games. Years earlier, when my wife was a teen, she had rented Silent Hill 3 to play. But she couldn't make it past the opening stage before shutting it off for good. It scared her that much. Here, she now had the fearless survival horror fanatic to guide her. Well, I mean, she watched me play, but it was still a means for her to experience the game. She loves watching horror movies after all, but she doesn't want to feel like she's actually there in it. So I'm pretty sure that my memories of Brookhaven, a la Silent Hill 3, were most vivid not from the sheer horror of the game, but from playing a game that scared us both while being cuddled up close. Yeah, I'm a dad, but I'm also a husband, and all of my most vivid memories involve her in some way. So, well, it'll get mushy. But I actually once worked as an orderly in a mental health wing of a hospital. Yep, that's right. Scrawny little me was one of the forces to keep patients civil and appropriate. Needless to say, I spent a lot of time in hospitals that look exactly like this one, and I tapped into those long overnight shifts of sitting alone in a hallway keeping watch over patients sleeping. I would get so tired just sitting there that I would see shadows out of the corners of my eyes, and once the walls even seemed to breathe and sweat. What I'm trying to say is, every corner of this building is cut and pasted from the Google images of my mind. That's why I really wanted to give that middle of the night, power-conserving setting. When I worked those overnights, the hallway was only lit dimly by a few emergency lights. But now I'm thinking of my time at that hospital. Before each shift, I would legitimately eat an entire pizza and drink a big old bottle of Pepsi. I figured it'd help keep me awake, but it didn't. The long hours of sitting, spiced up every half hour with the obligatory room check to make sure that everyone was still breathing, enabled me to spend my time doing a bunch of things. One activity I read the first 5 books in Anne Rice's Vampire Chronicles. You know, the one that starts with Interview with the Vampire and follows the infamous life of Lestat. Well, yeah. Needless to say, that whenever I went outside in the snow-covered grounds of the hospital, I half expected to be greeted by one of Rice's vampires. I would have totally jumped at the opportunity. Eternal life? Holy crap! You could do and learn so much. You can live one way for some time, and then switch it up. And there I go, back to thinking of my wife. We always say that we would love to be vampires together, and quite honestly, given the bass-backward state of society anymore, I'd be keen to go out vampire hunting for an inn. Yes, I do have the vampire expansion, but no, I never play as a vampire. They're just too silly for me. I mean, I know that The Sims is silly regardless, but I don't know. Maybe it's that they're too cheesy. And don't even get me started on the live-action Cats expansion. Oh, wait, no, I mean werewolves. Like, I'd rather see more realism over cheese. Alas, I know I am only one man. Millions of people love the silliness factor. And I don't even play live mode, so who really cares, right? Anyway, I had initially avoided Silent Hill when it came out because, well, I thought the graphics looked like crap. I was so spoiled by the pre-rendered backgrounds of the original Resident Evil series that the janky graphics I felt would spoil the immersion. And obviously, after playing it, I understood. The games are seriously disturbing and scary. Oh, and that movie? See, I don't care what people say. I thought the Silent Hill movies were fantastic. They completely brought the world to life in amazing fashion. But alas, herein lies yet another memory. So, as I've said, my wife is terrified of Silent Hill. She panics when she hears the telltale sign of the coming otherworld shift, the emergency siren. But, to appease her soon-to-be husband, we went to see the first Silent Hill movie in the theater, and the creepiness happened before the movie. Okay, first there were the endless movie trailers. Specifically, I remember seeing the trailer for Tokyo Drift, and all we could think was that the main character sounded like Forrest Gump. Anyway, the movie finally starts, and we don't even get fully through the torch-wielding goddess of Columbia Pictures when, right as the creepy mandolin music of the movie started, the film of the movie, yes, this was pre-digital, melted off the projector. We just sat there, all like 10 of us in the theater looking around like WTF. We all went out to the concessions to chat with management, and after a few minutes they said that they had taken care of it. The same thing happened. So, to appease us, they gave us vouchers to return on another day so that they could fix, we had assumed, the problem. But lo and behold, when we went back a couple days later, the same problem happened. Like, I guess they used some crap tape to fix the reel. You know, I mentioned it, but yeah, we used to watch movies from an actual film projector. That's where the cigarette burn thing from Fight Club came from. The dot used to line up the end of the one reel with the start of the next. Scratches also showed up. I can attest to this from my experience having seen The Green Mile in the theater. For about 2/3 of the movie, there was a thin green scratch running down the left side of the screen, like unending. With how long that movie was, crossed with how long film reels could be, it literally was a Green Mile. That theater was another story as well. It was one of those old single-stage live performance theaters that got converted into 5 separate theaters, all of which had no ounce of soundproofiness. It only was acceptable if you were in the largest theater. It would always drown out the mini-screens, but wherever you were at, you couldn't escape the mustiness of the ancient mildew ecosystem, or the sound that your sneakers would make sticking to the wet, sugar-laden linoleum tiles. Man, I'm feeling gross thinking of it. Alas, when you grow up in a small town with the nearest multiplex 30 minutes away, you'll deal with what you got. And this will be an interesting tour of the basement levels because I really went to town with making most, if not the entire build, open air through all 4 levels. For the most part, I simply removed and or replaced walls with fences and took away many, many floors. However, the first area is actually my attempt at building an offshore drilling rig. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted something industrial, and for whatever reason, an offshore drilling rig was the first idea to come to mind. But it's the other world. It can be whatever at once. Since Brookhaven is considerably smaller than Alchemilla, there are only 2 other real standout aspects to this place: the 3 floors of patient beds. They really convey that isolated and restrained, but not hidden from being scrutinized by the staff, kind of way. I removed 3 floors of rooms, but left only the beds to sit in their fence-lined cages. We'll see the third and final notable section when we head out into the courtyard at the end of this tour. Actually, the courtyard I made down here in the basement levels was the inspiration for my work on my second Silent Hill themed build, the Woodside Apartments, as I build an entire 64 by 64 outside basement. Yeah, it's pretty sick. Now, I don't complain about this game much, and usually it's not even seriously when I do. But I do have one singular gripe that really can be seen with all the open air design to this place: the white ceilings. But it really isn't a feasible option to be able to change the ceilings. The game is designed to be isometric. You never can see the ceilings when you're playing live mode. I mean, that's true, right? Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Oh, totally random. If you're one to decorate your builds with trash piles, if you have it snow, the trash disappears. All of these floors had been covered in garbage until I decided to remove the snow. Yeah, so imagine lots of trash strewn about the floors to accompany the numerous trash cans I've got floating around the catwalks. But I'm so imagining these ceilings black. Oh, or what if there were clear floors? Like, it'd be nice to have a legitimate catwalk that you could see through, or grates, or even just simply glass. It's all good either way. I love building in this game already. Complaining is just acting like a choosing beggar. Well, you can rest assured that once I finish the next build, I'll have a new video tour up and ready for you. And don't forget, this is a trilogy of videos. After the apartments, I'm going to tackle an entire shopping mall. I actually think that I might make that one into a speed build. We'll see. But if that wasn't a reason to subscribe, I don't know what is. Thank you as always for spending the time to take a look at my video. Be sure to follow me on Twitter to get updates for when I'll be live next. During the summer, I'm all about streaming and making videos, so I'll be on a lot. I'd love to have you stop by. Finally, I thank you again for watching, and be sure to take a closer look by downloading the lot in the Sims 4 gallery under EAID, A Dad Who Games. But until the next, have a day.